to Marvel Talk. I am, of course, Ol'Ed and Fries. This is Andre. It's gotta be Mephisto C. And we are here to talk about Ironheart. Unfortunately, our host, Peggy, is unavailable this week as she is on assignment doing some other things. But she will be back hopefully very soon. We believe we're going to have her, if nothing else, for the Fantastic Four episode when we do that at the end
we will.
of...
That I believe we will.
We're a month away today. We're a month away from the drop of that movie today. So they dropped another trailer, which we'll watch.
I'm less than a month away from seeing it. So
Me
screw
too.
you. I'm seeing it on the 24th.
As am I. As
Okay.
all of us who do opening night are.
Oh,
Peggy,
STG breaking my heart. Oh, I thought you loved me, sir. I thought we were friends. Oh man, I might have to block you on Twitter now. Ugh.
That's fine. He doesn't post anything.
He messages me through there. So.
He does message through it, and I do love having.
I'm saying I might have to block him on there now with that after that phrase.
All right, so we're going to talk about Ironheart to start the show, and before we get into the actual show, we do have some things we need to deal with when it comes to talking about this show, almost like it's an MCU rebound. Not all of us get to see it on a Thursday, like you due to prior commitments. I see it on a Friday or Saturday. Oh,
yeah. Go see it on the Thursday, man. Then you'll actually get to see it. Unlike waiting till like Monday or Tuesday.
Well, he has a show, Ring Respect Radio, on a Thursday night. So.
Yeah, but he can take a week off. He can go after. He can go after the show. The show's at like 7 our time. You can still go to a 9 p.m. movie.
Yeah, and he has PPW Friday and Saturday. Ooh, double show.
You can do it. You can see it after the show. Hello.
But as we are here to talk, we also have Rachel Reynolds stopping by. Hello. So this show has gone through some things. So let's talk about this. In December of 2020, during the pandemic, they announced that we were going to be having Ironheart coming to Disney Plus. They announced some of the casting. At that point, it was only Dominique Thorne in the essential role as Ironheart. Bobby, we'll get to the PPW stuff in just a little bit. We then got a whole bunch of people being brought onto the project, and they were working in Chicago and Atlanta on this show in 2022 with a script, and they started filming. However, that's when everything hit the fucking fan with this show. We saw footage of this, and I say we as in the royal we, at Comic-Con 2023, I think it was. I think they were showing footage.
Yeah.
And then it just kept getting pushed back and pushed back. And mind you, it was done, filmed in the can, everything was ready to go in 2023. We are now in June of 2025, and it is finally being released.
Yeah, but again, you also got to remember there was a lot of restructuring of how they're doing things come 2023, 2024. And this is the last of the pre-Iger era stuff. Like Iger's back, he's trained. I guess it's still Kevin Feige in charge, but he's shifted a lot of things on how it's being presented. And this is, to me, the final piece of the old regime's dump it all out there view on it.
We do say that executive producers on this series of these 6 episodes do include Kevin Feige, Louis D'Esposito, Brad Winterbaum. That's the current team. Feige, Winterbaum, Esposito is an executive producer on everything, and Zoe Nagelhoff.
And also shows Coogler's on there.
I was just about to get there. Proximity Media, which is Ryan Coogler's production company, is also on this, which includes Ryan Coogler, Zinzi Coogler, Zev Ohan, and Hodge, who is, I believe, the person who directed these. Yeah, Chinaka Hodge, who is in charge of the showrunner for this series. She
And
wrote
a listen named
one.
Kulzer.
Yeah. So this show has obviously gone through some shit, but it was filmed in 2022. And then they did some post-production work, and now people are talking about it 3 years later.
Yeah. Like, I feel for someone like Dominique Thorne, because, like, the one thing you could say to this was not a show that ended up getting reshot, didn't get repackaged. It was
Nothing.
just continue on, which I respect them not going back, because, again, you saw the disjointedness in Daredevil. You saw the disjointedness in Brave New World of the reshoots and the changes. But, like, I feel for people like Dominique Thorne and others that are in this show that got to do something cool and then had to wait 3 years for this, 2.5, 3 years for this project to come out.
Yeah, there were some reshoots. There is additional photography that were shot February to April of 2024. So there is newer stuff included in this as well.
Okay, so I'm wrong. Never mind. I'm an idiot.
No. You're right. It wasn't completely rewritten. They didn't do a lot of work. They did some additional photography in the beginning of last year. And again, February to April, that's a very short time to do reshoots. So it's not like they were reshooting the entire show. They're reshooting probably particular scenes as opposed to large arcs.
And it could be the back half too. Back half stuff, how they want to kind of change the ending. Maybe they're shifting the ending in a different direction. Maybe they're like, yeah, it has to be Mephisto. Because come on, the Hood is Mephisto. The Hood is Mephisto.
Well, no, the Hood is not Mephisto. The Hood is
the Hood itself is Mephisto's powering the Hood.
We'll see.
No way he's not.
I don't disagree with you, but there are different. We'll talk more about that when we get to it. This really does have a massively amazing cast. Let's start with Dominique Thorne, who is the absolute star as she was in. I remember the both of us saying in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever review, that we both really loved Dominique Thorne. We thought she was an interesting breath of fresh air. She was a great character. She brought life to that. I messaged Andre. I was 20 minutes into the first episode, and I'm like, Riri Williams is so fucking likable.
She is. Like, and she is. It just the first episode I was watching, I'm like, okay, this is all right. I love her in it. She's great. Like, everybody plays their characters so well. It's just, I found it really slow to get in, and then it's where you see her. I think it's finally when you get the AI is where where she gets her AI is where you really unlock her character even more. Like, who she was at the start of the first episode versus the end of the first episode you see the shift in her, and it is where you really fall in love with the character is when you get to 2. Because of her play off the AI.
Yeah. And speaking of that, let's talk about Lyric Ross, who plays Natalie Washington, a.k.a. Natalie. I am not going to break down what Natalie means. I've seen it multiple times.
I think you need to. I think you need to tell us what Natalie stands for.
All right. Well, you talk about how great Natalie was while I look up the exact wording of this.
Well, you're saying, I mean, this is my favorite character in this entire show is Lyric Ross playing Natalie, because she's the witty best friend. She's just such an ass, but like, she's defending her friend, but she's so neglected at first, right? But I just love the attitude that she's bringing in here. It's so good. Like, just. She steals the scenes, every scene she's in, like the mom scene. when she appears on the wall to the mom and scares crap, and the mom's just like, oh my god. I just love the way the mom reacts to everything. It's so good. So good.
All right. So Natalie, NATALIE, stands for Autonomous Technical Assistant and Laboratory Intelligence Entity.
She gave herself that name, which is the best part.
The fun thing to talk about with this is in bringing this back to the comic book. The original AI for Riri Williams in the comic book is Tony Stark.
It is because they killed him off in the comics. She essentially became the replacement, and then bingo bango, timey wimey, he's back alive again. But yeah, comic books.
As an AI. Comic books, they're great.
No, but he does come back to life again afterwards. But
but so many people hate on this because like, oh, they're doing Ironheart but black and women. It's like, no, that's not what this comic book was about. This was about having a different Iron story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same. It's not redoing Iron Man, in a different way. It was redoing the Iron Man story in a completely different sense with a completely different character. And the only reason why she goes by Ironheart is because of the fact that Tony was the AI in her suit. She had the blessing of Pepper Potts in the comic books too. Mm-hmm. Like Pepper was integral in bringing her in as the Ironheart. So like, there's so much to this where it's more than just a different casting. It was essential to the story. And again, this is also a Michael Bendis story. And Michael Bendis tells fantastic stories. We'll get more Michael Bendis as we get going to head to Secret Wars and Doomsday, because those are being played off of, I believe, Michael Bendis stories as well.
Yeah. Sorry, I just responded to a text.
No worries. Manny Montoya playing John, Parker Robbins' cousin, and the knife aficionado of this group. And I am not talking about. I'm not pronouncing that whole Sicilian stiletto bullshit knife shit that he's talking about when he introduces himself.
I love Manny Montana. Every time I see him in a TV show, it makes me excited because the dude is such a great actor. One of the he's been on so many. The last show I rewatched that I remember him in is Rosewood. The dude that's playing on the dude that's on Watson now. He was in the show cover. Was it? He's the brother in season 2 of Via Maria. But yeah, dude, he's just such a compelling actor. He's so he's so dynamic in everything he does, and his arc in this, I'm like, holy shit! This I was really surprised with what they do with him in this series.
From suave motherfucker to raging lunatic to murderer to dead.
To dead, yeah. I was surprise.
I thought Manny Montana did fantastic work, and I'm excited to see what they do with him going forward in the show, because of the fact that we're talking about mystical forces and magic. We already seen him come back to life and sitting there, and so that Parker Robbins can see that Ironheart was the one who left him to die. So we're going to continue to get a ghostly version of him. He's not done. There's going to be more Manny Montana, John Robbins in this show as we go forward.
Yeah, he'll be used for visions for Mephisto to have a manifestation to speak with Hood. Yeah, makes sense.
Speaking of the Hood, we do need to talk about Parker Robbins, Anthony Ramos. My God, he is so good in this. I would be a part of his gang. I would be right up in there with all these people. I loved everything that Anthony Ramos says and does in this. He is the epitome of a manipulator in the best and worst ways possible. He is so manipulative in this show, but at the same time, it fits the role that he's playing of this gang leader, mafia leader, but he's also like a brother and somebody that you guys can rely on. And he's giving them money and he's doing this Robin Hood-esque thing. And it's just so well done. The story arc that they've already given us in 3 episodes, with so much more to come. But they've given us just enough already to be like, this guy's really intriguing and interesting, especially at the end when John dies and he's, talking to the forces that lead him and have him going on the... Yeah, Mephisto. We know it's Mephisto. We don't say Mephisto until we get to Mephisto, but it's going to be Mephisto.
I'm going to keep saying it.
In the comics, it's actually not Mephisto. In the comics, it's Dormammu.
Want to say hello to dude in the chat, Hulk.
Of course, we love Hulk.
My boy from Insta. How you doing, brother? Nice to see you in the chat.
We talk. I talk to Hulk and Joe every Tuesday night on Taking Over. We talk to Hulk.
I love that dude.
Love Hulk.
I love that dude.
Speaking of guys we love, talk more about Anthony Ramos and what he's got.
I thought really well portrayed because he comes off as such a charming dude in even like the first heist with the tunnel, like when he's in the car, he transports himself into the car, and like he's just the way he presents himself with her is absolutely phenomenal, and just. It's just like he's like almost like a gentleman criminal in a way, the way he portrays himself there, and then to juxtapose that with when they're in what's the company? I can't remember the company in the 3rd episode.
Holmberg.
The one with the island that floating island place that they're on.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find the name.
With that guy, how he just has no care for him, and they're kind of way they play off each other, and you can just see Heirloom, and the head of Heirloom, you can just see him get like his not giving a fuck, and you can see the other side of Parker come out in that scene. The part that's not the suave, not the calm. This is the hot-headed, crazy side of the hood of this person. This is the gangster, because again the character, this is what I'm reading, is a former street gang member who became an activist and is doing what he's doing, and you can see that side of him come out here, and it's really cool to see the two sides of this character, and then the utter rage when he finds out that it's Riri that left John to die.
Yeah, there's so much interesting stuff, and again, we'll talk more about this as we go through some of the episodes and talk about things that have happened in those episodes. I did reach out to the Mother Talking Post Show team for this one. We have Shea Cooley playing Slug. Now, Slug is a comic book character that has been completely redone for the show. Mm-hmm. This bears almost no resemblance to the character from the comics. However, in this, she/they are a hacker from Madripoor. They're a member of the team. They're and incorporating Shea Cooley's own life into this. It is a former drag queen who wants to redistribute the wealth from Chicago's elite to the other people in Chicago who need the money. The reason why this is very interesting is because, like I said, I reached out to the Mother Talking Post Show team. And if you don't know what they do on our local establishment, they do all of the RuPaul's Drag Race. Shea Cooley is a 2-time winner on season 9 and All Stars 5. And they placed 4th amongst an all winners season on All Stars season 7. So phenomenal work in RuPaul's Drag Race. Beyond that, she's a humanitarian. She's a musician with many great pop music on streaming, including notably her song "Your Name." And again, all of this is coming from Jose, one of the wonderful hosts of Mother Talking Post Show. She's also a Chicago native and a huge part of the Midwest culture that brought in drag names like Trixie Martel, Kim Chi, and James Mansfield. So the fact that she's a Chicago drag race, celebrity is the reason why they're utilizing her in this role. because she's from the area. It makes sense. Good publicity for the show, being like she can very easily go out and talk about this character she's playing because it's brought down to earth for her, and it's a fantastic way to, again, during Pride Month, to get a lot of great inclusion in, to be telling wonderful stories. So again, thank you, Jose. Auntie was a bit distracted tonight, but thank you, Auntie. And make sure you check them out. Normally every Friday for the next couple weeks, it'll be on Mondays for the Mother Talking Post show as they go through RuPaul's Drag Race episode, All-Star Season 10. So I want to give them a plug to thank them for giving me that information. I loved Slug in this, though. I thought every time she's on screen, she steals the show. She's got such a personality to her when she's on the screen. I adored every moment that she was on the screen. I want to see more from her as the show continues. I really hope she's not one of the ones that gets killed, because I would love to see her in more Marvel stuff going forward.
Yeah, I feel like I really like the character in Witch Haze, and I feel like she could really kind of be used in the same way like you've seen Kat Dennings pop up a couple times in other projects. I really feel like you could see her in them in this same role, or in that, not that exact, but in that similar role of a character that you can. Oh, you need a character that has. You need to get into hacking something. Like somebody finds Slug and brings them in for just an episode or just a quick scene in a movie. Like any of those little weird little things you could do, and I would very much be okay with. Like I really like this character for that, and I would love to see them do a lot more in this series, because again, it's a fun character to really kind of give you that, help you move stuff through, but also gives you some good comedy. The way they play off everybody, it's really good.
Yeah, no, I was enjoying everything. We have the Bloods, which are Zoe Tarakis and Shakira Barea playing Jerry and Ra's blood.
Yeah,
they were fine. They're
cool. They did what they needed to do. They kicked people's asses.
Yep. Yeah. We had Sonia Dennis playing Clown.
Yeah, I love Clown. This was probably my favorite of like outside of Mandy Monroe's John. This was my favorite gang member because just so over the top and everything. It just blowing shit up, setting fires, everything, just absolute perfection. Like in the first heist in the first episode when she throws this thing on the thing and it blows the handle up, I'm like, that's cool.
You know who she reminds me of, and it's another MCU related thing. She reminds me of Don Cheadle in the Ocean series. She's got that same demolition vibe as that Don Cheadle character that he played in the Ocean series.
Just not a bad accent.
Well, I agree. Like I said, the character, not so much the accent. But no, I love Don Cheadle in that show. I think Don Cheadle's great.
Yeah, great. I love Don Cheadle in that movie.
Yeah, no, I think, but she gave me that, like, right off the bat. I started getting those vibes from her of like this Don Cheadle. She is the comic relief. She steals the hood, and again, we'll talk more about that when we get to it. But seeing her like modeling the hood, and everybody's like, "Ooh, this might not be a good idea." Like I said, I love a lot of these people. Okay, the last person
we didn't talk. I was gonna say we didn't talk about Rampage. I know he was in here very little, but Eric Andre is Rampage. When he popped up in the first episode, I was like, "Oh my god, get Eric Andre!" And then he's pretty much gone. And I was a little bit sad because I love me some Eric Andre. The dude,
Eric Andre is very expensive. Eric Andre is very expensive, and you're already shelling out money for Anthony Ramos, Manny Montana, and somebody we haven't talked about yet, but we'll talk about him next. We're already shelling out for 3 big names on top of Dominique Thorne. You know, we can only have Eric Andre for so much. Jim Rash is obviously in this. He's
love him. Love him. His little scene was great.
He does the things he needs to do when he needs to do it. Angie White, I just want to say Angie White again. We haven't seen a lot from her, but everything we've seen from her, I think, was great. I thought she was really good.
Like her playing off of the AI Natalie, great. I love that. That just so much heart in that scene.
Yeah. And the last person that we've met that was a minor character, Matthew Elam playing Xavier Washington. Yeah. I really like him. I'm hoping that there's a little bit of love connection going on here between him and Riri, but I'm not sure if it's a brother-sister thing or because he's Natalie's older brother. I'm not sure how this is going to play out.
Yeah. Again, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But
I feel like there's a little bit of thing there from him, at least on his side. I feel like there's a little bit of, there's a little bit of like putting his toe in the water to see if the water is warm. But we can't move on without talking about Joe McGillicuddy, Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden Ehrenreich. Alden Ehrenreich. Oh my God, dude! I'm a big fan of him from his run as Han Solo. He's a very good actor, and he's Joe McGillicuddy. McGillicuddy for one. I know it was with D's instead of T's, but as soon as I heard McGillicuddy, all I could think of was Curtis Axel, Michael McGillicuddy. But no, he came in and he really played this great little like comic foil with her, with Riri because she has to fix the suit, and she finds him. He's like a black market parts dealer.
He buys black market parts off the internet,
and then she finds him and she kind of blackmails him into giving the stuff. But then she says like, be more assertive, so he becomes more assertive, and it's like, no, you're gonna help me with this shit. Like, it's really funny. And then, are we gonna talk about the reveal?
Let's talk about the reveal in episode 3, where we get who he really is.
Yeah, this is awesome. So they're in the house, and to me, this is the best way to do the reveal, is that she opens the flour jar and but a bag of ashes falls out, and he picks it up and he goes put it away, but she sees the name. It says O Stain, or was it Obadiah?
Obadiah S.
Obadiah S. And she's like, wait, Obadiah? That's not a common name. And he's like, yes, it's my father, Obadiah Stane. And he reveals himself that he's Ezekiel Stane, Obadiah's son. And I literally went, oh my God, this makes so much sense. And he's talking about, and she's like talking about his death, and like he died in plane crash. She's like, no, he died being the bad guy. And the fact that he knows all this and everything, I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. Do we get another Ironmonger? That's what I'm looking. Do we get another Ironmonger? I don't think so, but
I like the fact that as of right now, he wants to play on the side of good. In the comics, he does do that as well. He is on the side of good. He's the opposite of his father. He does become like an Iron Man type character, doing good things as opposed to more of the Ironmonger. I didn't realize going into the show that we were getting a Stain. It makes perfect sense that we would get one because of the Iron Man connections. It makes perfect sense. But no, I thought the reveal was fantastic. I thought his character was great. All the live, laugh, love stuff about the fact that he doesn't touch any of the stuff before dealing with her. Like, he refuses to touch anything because he doesn't want to get arrested, because he doesn't want to go down the road that his father went down.
And she screwed him by the end of episode 3.
Yeah, we'll go get to that. The neighbor who lets her dog poop on his lawn and then just walks away and doesn't bother to clean it up.
So good. So good.
He was fantastic. But we're done talking about the characters. Let's go ahead and talk about the actual episodes. Take Me Home is episode 1. Sam Bailey directs. Chinika Hodge is the writer. This is a great introduction. I know Bobby says that he didn't finish all 3 episodes, but it felt disjointed. He felt like there was no synergy. I disagree. I thought the exact opposite. I thought everything fit.
Yeah.
I know the episodes jump around a bit with the back and forth where Riri's reliving all of the Natalie memories, but I feel like it's all telling one cohesive story.
I can see how Bobby would see that at that point. I get it, the jumping, but at least it's not like, it's not gonna break the show like it broke Moon Knight and stuff. So yeah.
I was thinking more along the lines of like
I just want to take a shot at Moon Knight.
No, I know. I was thinking Captain America: Brave New World. I think when I think of disjointed and having it have no synergy because of the disjointed parts, I feel like I'm a movie who's like kind of like put together. And I think of Brave New World, or like you said earlier, Born Again. Season 1 of Born Again, because of the ways that they shot it, episodes 1 and 2 and 8 and 9 are a completely different show than episodes 3 through 6, 3 through 7. And no, Bobby, we're just saying that we're disagreeing with you. We're not saying that you're wrong, because nobody's opinion is wrong.
Yeah, Bobby is wrong. Bobby is wrong.
Unless you're some of those terrible. Unless you were some of those terrible people who were hate reviewing this before it even launched. And within the first 20 minutes, we had people hate bombing this on Rotten Tomatoes, where it had a score of 34 at one point, less than an hour after release. On the audience side, not the critic side. The critic side was never that low. I do have the numbers, so if you want to play guess, I'll have the numbers for you to guess.
I don't look them up, but I'll play.
Okay, I was gonna say I do have the current numbers as of.
Actually, you know what? Let's save it for next week. Let's do it off the whole series. Okay. We'll save it for next week.
Sounds good. The numbers are interesting. I'll say it. I thought I was gonna keep them just because.
We can play them this week. It's fine. We can play this weekend next week. We'll see what the shift is after 6.
Yeah. So in this, we see Riri get kicked out for plagiarizing work as she's trying to earn money to rebuild her Iron Man suit, because unfortunately...
Okay. She's not plagiarizing. Other people are. Other people are using her work. But she's selling it to them, so it's not technically plagiarism. She sold them the idea. It's now... They purchased it. It's not plagiarism, technically.
It is.
Technically not. It's technically not.
The ideas and the experiments, no, but the paperwork, yes.
Okay. They are plagiarizing. She's not. She technically hasn't done anything wrong. All she's done is sold some people some ideas. She did nothing wrong. She did not deserve to be kicked out of MIT here. Yes. She didn't. Riri did nothing wrong.
Hashtag Riri did nothing wrong. Hashtag Riri did everything
right. Riri is right.
We'll see if you still have that opinion later on. We'll get to that. We also see after she gets kicked out, she flies back to Chicago, where the AI in the suit that she has from the Stark Tech Institute starts falling apart. And I love how when she stops and she falls and she rolls, they use that for the title of Ironheart, with her whole body sprawled out like an A.
Well, no, it's the damage to the road is what, but it's the damage to the road is the rest of the letter.
But the road's not actually damaged. That's why it's so great.
But yeah, that's why I really like that. But like the AI assistant is Clippy, the goddamn Microsoft Word paperclip.
It's a
pencil. You look. He reminds me of Sorry, it's not Clippy, but he reminds me of Clippy.
Oh,
the way the pencil does everything, and he has like morphing and stuff. It reminds me of Clippy.
It's supposed
from
to.
Microsoft Word. Oh,
and it's
so annoying.
And I think it's funny. It's named Trevor, and the reason why it's fun that it's named Trevor is because she's trying to use the money to build her own AI that's supposed to mimic Grok, the AI from her from Wakanda that helps Shuri, which is voiced by Trevor Noah, which is why the AI in this suit is named Trevor.
That's good. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Trevor Noah. On the first Black Panther movie, Trevor Noah is credited as a language expert because he speaks fluent Tosa, which is the language that they use for Black Panther. That is the language that they speak in the movie. So in the second movie, not only is he the language expert helping out with the Tosa language, but he also plays Shuri's AI in the lab.
Okay.
When when she's talking to the AI in the lab and it's talking. Yeah, that's all Trevor Noah, former host of the Daily Show, comedian extraordinaire, one of my favorite people in the world. I love Trevor.
Comedian. I wouldn't put the other part. I wouldn't put that second word on it, but a comedian.
He's an amazing comedian. He's fantastic. I love Shark.
He's a good comedian.
Then we get into Parker Robbins and his crew. We see the first heist that goes awry because Ol'Ed Andre can't do his job right. Oh, sorry, Stewart can't do his job. Oh no, Rampage. We then see the gas elevator scene of Riri trying to her audition to get out of the glass elevator like she's in a Saw movie, which I'm sure will make Bobby happy.
And she just does something completely different. This goes off the script completely, which I loved. Yeah,
I thought that was great, and it impresses everybody, including Parker Robbins. And I love how she's like, "No, I'm not doing this bullshit. I'm not being a criminal." He's like, "How much money would it take to buy buy your goodwill, buy the fact that you're going to become a criminal? How much would it take?" She's like, "You don't have that kind of money." He just opens a chest full of money, and he's like, "Are you sure?" Bobby does indeed want to play a game. I could see Bobby playing the games in Saw. I don't see him succeeding.
100%. I 100% could see him becoming Jigsaw.
Well, no, I could see him playing Jigsaw's games. I don't know if Bobby could.
No. He would become Jigsaw, and he would make us play the games.
No. We're
That's
not
where we get OLE Saw. That's how OLE Saw comes together.
Riri trying to recreate an AI for her suit. She tries to use her own brainwaves to do this, to make an AI that can read her brainwaves, and she accidentally creates Natalie, the AI, her best friend from the day that she died, with partial memories.
And again, which makes complete sense, because she's only going to have the memories that are unlocked within Riri's brain, or information that's out there about Natalie. Because she's not going to remember what Natalie has remembered in life, because she doesn't have access. Unless there's videos of showing Natalie doing things and things like that out there, she's only going to know what's in Riri's brain and what's out there in the world. It makes sense. It makes sense.
It does. Yeah. And this is basically where we leave off on episode 1. Episode 2 is a lot more about the connection between Natalie and Riri. We see Natalie get shoved into the computer, and she escapes talking to the mom.
That was so good. Again, I love that scene so much. I don't know why. I just really like the way, because she scares the mom, and the mom's just like, "Oh my god!" And she's realizing who it is, and she's like, "Oh, she did that." And she's like, you can see that, like, you can see the swell of pride in the mom for that little bit of Riri creating her best friend as the AI. You can see that swell of pride there.
And the unfortunate truth when Riri has to tell her mom that she doesn't know how she did it, and she can't recreate Gary, which is her mom's ex-husband, who died saving Riri, but in the same night took the life.
Just do it. I thought just do what you did, and then hook your mom's brainwaves up and let her do it, and then it should create Gary in the end.
I agree. That's probably what I would do, but I'm not Riri Williams, so we'll leave that be. Yeah. Heist number 2 is indeed talking about Tunnel, and this is where we realize that this city in Chicago, in this version of Chicago, really doesn't like vowels, because Tunnel is spelled TNNL. Because fuck vowels. This is great.
So it'd be CHCG for Chicago?
Yeah. CHCG.
Oh, man.
I love the idea of taking, like, old subway tunnels and making them like a highway. Like, I think that's so cool. But it's also so douchey because this is exclusively for the high rollers. And I'm like, oh. So it's perfect that Parker Robbins wants to go ahead and rob this. And in the end, they become employees. Parker Robbins is a anonymous owner of this company, getting equity in the company. I thought that was a great way to make some money. Really cool, really interesting. I love the idea of how they want to do this. And then Natalie breaks into Riri's suit and all hell breaks loose.
Because again, it makes sense. It gives that point if her friend doesn't want her to do something criminal.
Yeah,
I love the
right.
way that. And then she convinces her, it's like we can do this because they lose the way they were going to. She drops the virus, but then I still don't quite understand what she did. But yeah, gets
So
like sucked into a
what?
magnet or something.
So she sticks to the car like a magnet by turning off one of the settings on the thing that keeps her from short circuiting inside the suit. She then takes off the hand piece of the outfit because, unlike Tony Stark's Iron Man hands, her hands aren't all the way up. They only go into the top of it. So the hand itself is able to be remotely controlled. It climbs up the car and releases the car from the magnetic pad that it's on. Because basically the cars roll up, they go onto this magnetic pad, and then the pad moves them through this tunnel system. So by releasing the car from this, it rolls off the thing. So now the whole system shuts down because the system's smart enough to know that that's a bad thing. And when the system shuts down, that gives Slug the ability to get in, and that's what gives them the ability to take over the system.
Yeah, I watched this very early this morning while eating breakfast. So
yep, that's fine.
I'm a little fuzzy on that one.
Yes. All good. Yeah, and so the rest of this episode is is Riri trying to deal with Natalie's death, trying to make Natalie understand.
This is where we get the reveal of that they were shot. That her and her stepfather were shot in the garage because we heard something in the original scene we saw, and you saw it get down, but then it cut away. This time you see her stand there, and because Riri gets behind the car, and you see them too, and then you see them go down with more shots. So you're like, oh, they got killed in a drive-by. And you kind of, because they were only hinting at certain things, and that you kind of got the full picture. Yeah.
The gunshot that Parker uses to shoot and kill the guard absolutely freezes Natalie, which is interesting. The whole system has to shut down because of an anxiety attack based on the PTSD of the gunshot. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really interesting and different. I'm very excited to see how they handle that. I'll say on mine. I don't know if it was happened on yours too. The last 5 minutes of this episode were accidentally potentially skippable because on my Disney Plus, with 5 minutes to go 5 minutes before the credits rolled, they were giving me the proceed to next episode button.
I didn't get that.
Okay, I did get that, so maybe it's just a glitch. I thought that was really interesting. That the last little portion of this episode was done without it. Parker Robbins curves the bullet off of the Ironheart suit to shoot the guard. Well, sorry, to shoot and incapacitate the guard.
So I have a feeling that we're getting Angelina Jolie and who's the dude that played young Xavier? What's his name? Dude that played. No, young Xavier, the other one. McAvoy. We're getting Angelina Jolie and James McAvoy coming back as their wanted characters who know how to bend bullets from Wanted.
I just thought we were doing a thing with the JFK thing because JFK got killed by a magic bullet that bent.
No, it was Magneto.
Oh,
yeah. No, it's Magneto.
And that's basically the end of episode 2. This is, like I said, this is where she refuses to be able to make AI Gary because she really doesn't understand where Natalie came from.
Yeah.
She goes on a date. Well, she goes to a concert with Xavier. She has fun. Let's talk about, for a moment here, let's talk about the soundtrack. I have to say the soundtrack's not for me. But it's also not geared for me. I am 40-year-old white man. So other than Alanis Morissette, this soundtrack is not something in my wheelhouse. I don't hate the soundtrack. It seems cool. Mm-hmm. But it's certainly not something that I'd be bumping in my car.
Yeah, like watching it along, I very much am enjoying the soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's a good soundtrack. It's just not my thing. The only song I really got into was, again, Alanis Morissette. the greatest singer in Canadian history, the greatest singer ever, Alanis Morissette.
I mean, she's not the
She
greatest
is
singer.
she is God. Kevin Smith proclaimed that Alanis Morissette is God.
No. Alanis Morissette played God in Dogma.
She is God. He every time he refers to her, he said, "Yeah, God, she's God."
I understand Kevin Smith, but Kevin Smith is wrong.
Even
Just
Alan
so we're
Rickman
clear.
has said she is God, and that's Alan Rickman. You have to listen to Alan Rickman. He has said she's God. So
I mean, I don't have to trust in Alan Rickman. I should.
you should.
I don't have to.
But yeah, no. Other than Torn, it's like a lot of other features, other shows, movies. You hear certain songs, you're like, yeah, let's go, and you sing along to it. Torn was the only one I really got into this entire series. But again, it's not my style of music. It's not.
That was you ought. By the way, just so we're clear, that's you ought to know. Torn is not a name, Brulia.
Yeah, sorry, but no, because I was listening to Torn the other day. I was listening to that on a podcast 2 days ago. My brain is sorry. You ought to know. I apologize.
And the you ought to know. The you ought to know actually plays a real big role in the show because it talks about how Riri feels about Natalie. How you ought to know what you're doing to me. It's really interesting. Watch Jessica Clemens' new Rockstars breakdown. She does a really fantastic job breaking it down. We didn't talk about Joe, but in episode 1, she meets Joe. In episode 3, we go on a road trip with Joe. And this is where we get the Alanis Morissette stuff going on. I love episode 3.
Is this a song about the dude from Full House? You ought to know.
Yeah.
Is this a song about the dude from Full House?
No. That's the one about vanity. It's the other one.
I thought you ought to know was written about the dude from Full House.
No, You're So Vain.
Oh, it's You're So Vain. That's it. Okay.
No, that's Carly Simon.
No, I was gonna say that's not a her song. Yeah.
Hold
on. You ought to know.
Go ahead and talk about. Is it You Ought to Know?
My God, I swear to God, that's what this song is. Yeah, it's about. I think it's about Dave Coulier.
Well, I know one of her songs is about Dave Coulier. No, we're both. Yeah, you're right. It is You Ought to Know. I'm sorry.
I was right.
Bobby. And just so we're clear, I'll say this again because I kind of got cut off when I was saying it. Alanis Morissette is not the greatest Canadian singer of all time. That would be, as a group, collectively, the Bare Naked Ladies. Just so we're clear.
But they're not God, so no, I can't agree with that.
Neither is she. She only played God. Anyways.
She's God.
Yes, You Want to Know is about Dave Coulier, the guy from Full House, who successfully beat cancer, by the way. So, yeah, Dave. Also recently beating cancer, Jim Ross. So, good job, Jim Ross.
Yeah, good job, Jim.
But yeah, talk to me about episode 3. What did you think of episode 3? Because I know you had very good thoughts about this episode.
Yeah, I think this is really where the series picks up for me, is because you have this is the Ezekiel Stain reveal, then you have that kind of relationship. This is where you kind of have that relationship build. Like they had their little thing before, but now he's deciding to be a little more assertive. And this is where their relationships have built, because he wants her to help him with designing certain things and upgrading certain things. And she wants stuff from him, so they're kind of he's gonna like make this like a quid pro quo situation, and this you get to reveal that he's Ezekiel Stain, and that is true. Tragically Hip are pretty goddamn awesome. You've never heard of the Tragically Hip? Okay, you need to look them up after this show. Their lead singer, I think their lead singer passed away a few years ago. He's really good. But yeah, I just love for me, it's how this early part of this episode really builds up, and how really I love the way they kind of build this relationship here. And then you can see the evolution with Natalie here also in this episode, that she's kind of becoming more of a sidekick here than more, because she was almost antagonistically screwing with Riri in the last episode, where now she's becoming the sidekick for her in this episode. Yeah, I really like the way those two, again, everybody kind of works here in the early part of the episode. How the relationships are building. And then you see the relationship fracturing between John and Parker. You can see like the relationship starting to kind of little cuts here and there into the relationship.
Yeah. Before we get to John and well, I guess we'll talk about that. I love the rift here that we have where John's like, look, we've got nothing on this guy. We can't do this. We gotta pull back, wait, let us get, take our time. We always do this right. We always know what we're gonna do. We've got nothing on this guy. We need to wait and figure out what we can do. He's like, no, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna go. He's like, oh, what? No discussion this time. It's just all what you want. We're gonna go on this vendetta of yours. And he's like, oh, hold on. No. We're gonna do this. I also love that we start to see the unraveling of John the entire episode up to his demise, where he goes off on Clown.
He does.
As she's rolling around and wearing the hood because she broke into the room.
I don't even think it's that, because again, you look, what was it, episode 1 or 2? The hood is doing something to Parker, and like it's like fucking up his skin. He's having a tattoo over scars and stuff. Is almost what it was. I think what it was. Yeah. So I don't think he's angry. He's obviously angry that she took the hood, but I think for him, he just doesn't want her to be hurt by it. It's part of it. I think the way he with the utter reaction to it, it wasn't just like, oh, get it. Yeah, it was, yeah, because you see, it's effing with the skin, so he's tattooing over to try to cover up whatever is going on with the skin. It's Mephisto, the mark of Mephisto, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna sound like such an idiot when it's revealed to be like not Mephisto at all. But come on, Sacha Baron Cohen needs to be Mephisto. I really come around on him being Mephisto. I want him to be Mephisto now. But I think it's very much, it was more protection than anything. Getting mad at her for that, because he's seen what it's done to Parker, so he doesn't want it to happen to Clown. We
see the Riri upgrades the suit so that Natalie is no longer tethered to it. So now she's essentially a free-floating AI. This is what made me think that she was just going to be a hologram as opposed to an AI.
Well, she's not tethered to the suit, but she's hooked up to her necklace now.
Yeah, no, but she's no longer tethered to the suit, which is the upgrade that was done.
Yeah, and then so now she can be kind of pop between things, but she can only be pop between things that she can project herself from, though, technically. Yeah. So,
the Ogre Lord has already started sending me the tragically hip stuff, so I will.
Good job, Ogre Lord. Good job, Ogre Lord.
We also find out that this is where we find out that the unfortunate passing of Rampage, Eric Andre is now dead, or Eric Andre.
That was sad.
And then we get Riri trying to cut off a piece of the hood so that they can study it and try to figure out what's going on. And Job go up in smoke.
Well, yeah, because he has, because the whole thing is he has like a or a thing that detects anything that's not I guess like weapons and shit.
Yeah.
So
it detects foreign objects is essentially.
So she has to get this like bio skin from Ezekiel, and this is what screws everything up.
Yeah, and the whole thing goes wrong. The teams get stuck in the greenhouses. Thankfully, they get out, but unfortunately, as she's trying to escape, she gets caught by John with a piece of the hood in her.
And she drops the goddamn bioskin.
And the hood. The piece of the hood, she lost that too.
I thought she got
the red thing on top of the bioscan is the piece of the hood.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Towards the end of the episode. Yeah. When she's thinking back and she starts having her panic back because of the fact that she realizes what she's done after leaving John to die when they have their battle. She loses the bioskin, but on top of that bioskin is a big red, and I'm assuming that's the red fabric of the hood.
I blame Natalie for leaving John behind because she technically rescued Riri and flew her off. She could have grabbed John, but she didn't. So I don't blame Riri. I blame Natalie. It's the
I don't think. I also don't think that you could have saved John anyways if you're Riri, because if you save John, you've got to. He's still going to tell Parker. He's still going to tell Hood.
I know, but it's not. But in the end, it's not Riri's fault. It's Natalie's.
Sure, we can.
Technically, then she was out of breath in the suit. She grabbed her in the suit and flew her off. So it's technically Natalie's fault. Technically,
All right, we're gonna victim blame the artificial intelligence that can't do anything. But sure, we'll do that.
Dude, she can run the entire suit.
Okay. I'm sure nothing will go wrong if we victim blame the artificial intelligence. Nothing will go wrong.
So you want to blame the young girl?
I mean, we can. It was indeed her person who left the man to die.
All she did was get in the suit, and Natalie flew them off.
Yeah,
because she was still recovering from not being able to breathe.
And then this, as we see the reactions, we see two different reactions. Riri's panicking as she realized not only did she leave the biomesh skin, which is going to get Zeke in trouble, but she realizes that she killed John and she can't deal with that.
She realizes that Natalie killed John and she can't do anything about it.
She realizes that she left John to die and she can't handle it. And then we see Parker as he's freaking out to the powers that be that are running the Hood and the demonic possession of him with the tattoos. And they give him an image of John. He's like, "Why are you showing me this? Why would you do this?" And they don't say anything. We can hear the whispers, but we don't hear the actual words. And they continue to lay out the thing. And you see the reflection in John of the Ironheart suit looking at him through the door. And he is very unhappy to see that Riri is responsible for John's death. We have 3 more episodes coming. All 3 of these episodes are being directed by Angela Barnes. So that'll be great. Sam Bailey directed all 3 of these episodes. So we're going to see cohesive stories at least within these 3 episodes. Mm-hmm. On July 1st, we will be getting Bad Magic, Karma's a Glitch, and in the promotional campaign, the M in the word karma is outlined in red. And then we're going to get The Past is the Past as the final episode of the season.
Okay.
Like I said, Brian Michael Bendis is the comic person who wrote this. Obviously, since this is Disney, there are no official numbers. But we can compare and contrast some of these numbers now. Now, I will say that I'm going to give you one of the answers because it got review bombed. So this number is completely inaccurate, and we have no idea what it would or wouldn't be otherwise.
Well, you said 34%, right?
It was within an hour, it was down to 34%. It is higher than that now.
Okay.
It is up to 67.
Okay. I was going to guess, but...
Well, I'm going to let you guess the other one, which is untouched by evil people. Well, I mean, it's not untouched by evil people, but it is indeed the tomato meter from the critic score.
Okay, so critics also like to shit on a lot of the Disney Plus product. I'm going to say like 64.
It is a very nice...
Nice what?
69. 69. Yeah, no, critic score of a 69. And again, this isn't hugely uncommon. To their thing, it is 38 reviews of Fresh to 17 reviews of Rotten for the critics. So it's not completely bombed. And of their percentage of what they consider top critics, it is 8 and 8. 8 Fresh, 8 Rotten. So while the critics may not be loving it, we certainly are. This has been incredible to watch, and I'm very excited to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, again, like I said, the first episode was good. Second episode was like a little bit better, and the third episode I think is really where the show hit its stride for me personally. So like that's because again you get a lot of good build up in the first two episodes, and the third episode really kicks everything off. So I hope that 4 through 6 continue the level it's on and make and only kind of go up from there. I hope. We already watched this, didn't we?
This is the brand new final trailer that released today.
Let's go.
Famous around the world, please welcome the Fantastic Four. Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Human Torch,
I love you, Johnny!
and The Thing.
Hey, what time is it? Say the thing.
That's not really something I say.
It's clobbering time.
That's just in the cartoon. Never late for Sunday dinner. Let's eat.
Hey, what time is it?
It's dinner time. Get inside.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald Galactus.
What is that? Get us out of here, Ben! Hold on! Are we safe?
I don't know.
The clock is ticking. We are going to find a solution. We are going to make it right.
You don't want to just crush him?
I like that.
The four of us will face the danger. We will protect you.
Family. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself. We'll face it together. As a family.
What time is it, Ben?
No.
What time is it, Ben?
No, Johnny.
Say it!
I don't wanna!
Say it!
They keep getting them to try to say it. It's so good.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything else from here for the next month. I don't want Marvel to release anything more.
Huh?
I feel like I've already seen too much.
Yeah. I feel the same way with Superman. I've seen so much. There've been so many, like pretty much all the surprises are gone from that one. I feel I could be wrong. And it feels like almost like surprises are gone from Fantastic Four. From seeing all these trailers. Again, I'm not complaining. It's just really cool. I'm still gonna enjoy both those movies when I go see them. So one thing I've watched one trailer for F1, which I'm going to see this weekend. Watched one trailer for that. I watched it like 3 months ago with Peggy, a couple months ago with Peggy in the theater, and that's the only trailer I've watched for that movie because I don't need more than okay. It's about race cars. This dude's an old racer coming back. Perfect. That's all I need to know. And I'm going to see it Saturday. So, yeah.
Got to spread the Canadian love. This looks fantastic. I mean, it does look great.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Every time I see more, I get more and more excited. I will continue to say I'm still not sold on these four as the Fantastic Four. Still not. It's going to take seeing the movie to get me to be sold on it.
It's Pedro.
It's absolutely Pedro.
I see Ben Grimm. I see the dude. I see him as Johnny. I see Vanessa Kirby. I see her as. I see Sue Storm. But every time I see him, I think, oh, it's Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I don't see Mr. Fantastic.
Because the other three, like Ben Grimm, right? I've never seen The Bear, so I want to start watching it, but I'm thinking I should wait until after I see Fantastic Four, so I don't kind of get this person too much in my head. And I've only seen Vanessa Kirby in a couple things, so and there's nothing iconic for me so far. So looking at this, I see those people as their characters. I see Pedro when I see that character. I see Pedro Pascal. I see everything. I see the Mandalorian. I see all that. That's the hard part for me, is getting somebody so high profile for that role.
So we do have an updated schedule for Marvel Talk going forward.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
Next week we will have the final 3 episodes of Ironheart review. So Wednesday, same Marvel Talk time, same Marvel Talk channels. You can catch us reviewing the last 3 episodes of Ironheart. We'll be back probably the 13th.
16th.
Nope. We'll be back probably the 12th or the 13th for Superman.
Yeah,
That'll be at an interest that we'll figure out a time for that as we get closer. But we will have DC Talk Superman that weekend. The 16th we'll be back, hopefully with a special guest to review MC Rebound Black Panther. Very excited for this. This is the movie that made me want to do the MCU rebounds. It is indeed my favorite Marvel movie.
The top 5 one for me for sure.
It very often holds the number 1 spot for me almost always when I do my Marvel top lists. It almost always sits in the top spot. Sometimes it moves a little bit, but it never moves below 3.
Like for me, Iron Man always sits atop. There's nothing better than the original Iron Man personally, but this movie sits like 2, 3 usually.
Yeah. And then of course we'll be back probably the 27th to go ahead and review Ironheart, to review Fantastic Four. So we're very excited for all of this. It's going to be a fun time. Andre, tell the good people where they can find you and all the stuff that you have.
You can find me here on OLE, where I do the Sunday show with the boys, minus Ed because he doesn't show up anymore for some reason. He just hates us, I guess. He'll be back in the fall. I'll be there. I'm there every Sunday. I'm here at Marvel Talk on Wednesdays and weekends when we do movies. You can also now find me over at Backbreaker Video, where I am co-hosting a show called The Pop Spot, where me and my boy AWS are talking about all the local independent wrestling that we're going around watching these days. And there'll be another show coming out. Tomorrow, reviewing the RCW show from this past weekend. We just dropped a show about the debut episode of Black Hole Wrestling here in Edmonton, featuring a really crazy death match. Then we're going to be attending Top Talent on Friday, so that'll be another episode coming out next week, covering the Top Talent show from this.
Which includes Elena Black
and the person I'm most excited for on that show, Ultimo Guerrero.
And Elena Black.
Yeah, but you said her, so I'm saying the other one I'm excited for is Ultimo Guerrero. So yeah,
I mean, he will be there too.
Yeah, but yeah, check that show you can check out on Backbreaker Video next week. So yeah, lots of good content coming there, and then at that Canada guy on places, and at that Canada dude on other places.
You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at EdFries12584. You can find me on the Twitch at twitch.tv/EdFries2002, where I simulcast all of the wonderful MCU Marvel Talk episodes. You can catch me every Tuesday night with the wonderful Ash Rosario as we talk all things NXT on Taking Over. We are on the road to Evolution and the Great American Bash in Atlanta. And that is a very busy weekend for me. I've got the Chaotic Show on the 11th. I've got Great American Bash on the 12th. I've got Saturday Night's Main Event on the 12th. And then we have to do the Superman review somewhere in there as well. So I got to find time to see Superman too. You can also catch me and Mr. Bobby Munson as we do all things GM mode on the War Room, which we released the draft episode already, and the next episode will be coming out shortly. You can probably expect 1 to 2 episodes a week, as we're going to be batch recording these episodes ahead of time. So we'll probably be able to drop a couple of these, at least 1, if not 2 a week, I would imagine. Bobby can update you on that as he is the one taking care of the editing. There he is with the answer. Monday is the next one for sure. Okay. So they might be coming out just every Monday. I'm not sure what the release schedule is going to be. But you can catch us having that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Considering I know how things go for the first 3 episodes that are left to come out, there's going to be some interesting things happening as we go. And of course,
Let's go, Bobby. Let's go, Bobby.
And I'm so glad to be rid of Andre as my co-host here on Marvel Talk. But yeah, you can go ahead and catch all that wonderful stuff right here on our local establishment, which gives you these wonderful places. Ol'Ed Podcast on almost all your favorite social media platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube and or Twitch, you can find us at our local establishment. Same thing for Facebook, TikTok, all that crazy shit. You can find us all at all the wonderful places on Ol'Ed Podcast. Just go ahead and check it out, or you can email us at gmail.com, our local establishment at gmail.com. Or Ol'Ed Podcast at gmail.com. I don't know. Bobby does the emails. He does that. If you're watching this on repeat, go ahead and leave us a like, leave us a subscribe if you want to see more wonderful content. And what kind of content will you see? Well, on the way out of here, we're going to go ahead and play the calendar so you can see all the wonderful things that we have coming up for this week. But for myself, for Mephisto over there, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Things are calling that I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming, for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise?